communication within the government. He don't understand government, but that's his words.
How
right
is finding sushi charges public information?
Yeah, that said, in reference to that, while I do not doubt that he may hold some form of clearance itself, just because he holds
Now,
a
ML,
clearance.
you did say
This is why I'm making a clarification. Candace,
hold
this is
on,
why I'm making.
this is not a clarification. This is a correction because you say he holds no confirmed, and you were very
There is no
adamant about
confirmed.
it. No
Yeah,
confirmed
I am still
security
adamant about it.
clearance.
I am
ML,
adamant.
you're
So if
wrong.
you're adamant about it, then what are you talking about now?
Listen to what I'm saying.
Those semantics
So
games
while
again.
I say it specifically in terms of what he does as a business, yes, you would, in going to those spaces, you would need that, but there is no definitive evidence to suggest that he has a top secret clearance with a need to know. No Republican, no Democrat
Okay,
has
ML,
come
you
out
work
and
for the
stated that.
government. You work for the government. So let me
I
ask
do.
you this. How will we know definitively that he has a top security clearance?
Because there's certain jobs that require you can go
You
look at the
won't.
jobs and see.
No,
Yeah,
no,
you
how
won't.
will we know?
You can go look at the jobs
Even
out there
for
and
those,
see
hold on,
specifically.
even for those who have top security clearances, how would you and I know definitively that they have them?
Because one is that for some of the jobs that are within government, they will tell you what type of clearance that you need. Now the other part of it,
But
you want
will they?
you
How
want
will we
so
know who has them? That's what I'm asking you.
because it's
How
a
will we
simple
know?
question. What here it is.
You won't.
So, Cleve dog, I don't need you constantly interjecting.
You won't know, sir, because you're telling
Once-
a lie. You're grandstanding.
How am I grandstanding? Do you work for the
Bringing
government?
up bullshit. That's what you're
Do
doing.
you work for the government?
I did,
What
and
do
I
you-
had a
what-
top secret clearance.
What was the first form you needed to do to get the
None of your
clearance?
business. Since you want to know.
No, but you should know.
Since you want to know.
What is the clearance? What is the form
you
you
tell
need
me.
to fill out?
You tell
No, I'm
me.
not going to tell you. No,
Tell me.
I'm not going to tell you.
You see at the bottom, that is my military picture right there. I served in the United States Marine Corps.
I know you served in the military, but military
served in the Marine Corps.
That doesn't mean anything. What type of clearance that you needed? What type of clearance did you need?
Oh, none. No, you tell me.
Now you're saying none or there's a need. Because I know multiple people in the military right now that have various clearances.
I know multiple people. Okay.
What is the
Go
form
ahead
that
with
you
your
need?
grandstanding. Go ahead with your bullshit and your grandstanding.
What is the form?
I'm gonna bring you back up. Thank you
because
for
the
allowing us to see
FBI
your 10K
does
step.
the background check on what you need.
So respectfully, sir, what form do you need to start the clearance process? You can teacup and find out if you need to.
No, I don't need the teacup, anything.
It's an SF-86. I just said. He could have just simply said that. That's the start of it.
Hey there.
And you military. Thank you for no service. Go ahead, Candace.
Yeah.
Man, you're angry, buddy.
I'm just saying, I don't think you would know definitively, ML, that he has a security clearance. So,
ma'am, in reference to politics and government, this one of the things that is spoken
ML,
about.
let's be real. So how would we know? Do he need to produce paperwork that shows he has a security clearance? Like what do they need to do in order for us to know that they have
This is the thing, Candace.
security clearance?
This is the whole one of the arguments. I said this is the reason why, Candace, you as my friend, you know, I come on there. I disagree with you on some things, but some things I expect you to know. If you follow politics and you've seen the arguments that's out there, that is one of the arguments that he does not have a need to know.
I don't care that it's an argument. Hold on one second. I don't care about the arguments. Okay. I know based on even CNN confirmed from insiders that they know that he has a top security clearance. So I think I know a little something to be able to tell you the sources of.
So what have they been arguing?
Hold on one second, including Elon himself says he has a top security clearance. The same tweet that you read and I started this conversation off with, I said that. and he has various other clearances according to him. Your position was that he has no clearance, and it has not been confirmed that he has any clearance at all.
He
My
doesn't
position,
hold a cabinet seat.
my position specifically is that when it comes to this, when it has been several arguments
Oh
out there
boy.
and several arguments on the actual floor itself,
He had
The reason why-
documents
the
by
reason why
the
they-
toilet.
the reason that we're not talking about that, ma'am. But
Please,
specifically,
girl,
But
relax.
Emel, you still have to tell me, how can someone
and let me finish
Ooh.
my thought process. I just let you finish yours in reference to
Okay.
again. It is a clear distinction in between having a clearance and a need to know. There are multiple clearances out there.
But
And
that's
the
not my
argument has
argument, Emel.
The argument has been on the.
He does
And-
not have a cabinet seat, so how would he have a clearance?
That's what he's saying.
So
He doesn't hold a
Dog,
cabinet seat.
So Cleve Dog, are you saying that
Never mind,
Elon
man.
has no clearance?
Huh?
Are you
He
saying
has a
Elon
clearance.
has no clearance?
He has a clearance. The president gave him a clearance. The president can do anything he wants to do. The most powerful man in the world can do whatever he wants to do. And nobody can't say a damn thing about it. Jeff Sessions said something about it. You see what happened to Jeff Sessions?
What happened?
He fired his ass because
Okay.
of prison. He fired Jeff Sessions because of prison reform.
Or did he
He
fire?
said, "I'm the president. I make up the policy," because he is the executive branch. The president is. He is head over the CIA, the FBI, the military. That's why we call him the commander in chief. The only thing that the president cannot do is go to Congress and tell them what to do, or the judicial.
But he
branch.
can veto the bills that come through.
Yeah, he
it.
can veto, and they can't override his veto. And the
So,
only power that Congress have is the power to impeach. That's the only power they have.
I
That's the
found
checks and balances, though. That's a lot of power.
I found something on NBC News, a video about Musk security. Is that good
You can
enough for
play
you?
it. You can play it. Let's hear it.
Okay, here I go.
Hold on. How long is it?
It's like seconds. I kind of
Okay, yeah, go ahead and play
I
it.
cut to the chase.
Candace said, hold on now. Ain't no 10-minute videos today.
It ain't 10 minutes. Hold on. Come on, baby.
Has no authority to make spending decisions.
All as NBC News learned yesterday that Musk is officially part of the federal government, serving as a, quote, special government employee in the administration with top secret security clearance. President Trump defended
Done.
Musk's actions.
Elon can't do
So
won't do anything without
I don't know if you believe NBC, but
No, they don't believe it.
So
I know.
So in reference to that,
What was
I
his
knew
name?
you was gonna, I knew this was gonna come up with that. So Miranda. So in terms of executive
Hold
orders,
on.
or
Hold
let
on
me
one
just say
second.
this.
Oh,
Can
you-
you- Hold on. Hold on one second.
You're bold and brash and full of shit, sir.
Hold
Hold
on,
on,
y'all.
you
One second.
You
I
don't
want.
brash
Can you play that video and let me hear Trump part? Can you just replay it and let me hear what Trump said as well?
Okay, hold on.
Yeah, because I got a quick rebuttal.
approval.
The president. All as NBC News learned yesterday that Musk is officially part of the federal government, serving as a, quote, special government employee in the administration with top secret security clearance. President Trump defending Musk's actions.
Elon can't do and won't do anything without our approval.
The president also targeting the Department of Education for possible closure.
Okay, yeah, that's
according to
enough.
reports
Thank you.
overnight in the Washington Post and Wall Street.
So
So
real quick though, that implies Elon, they just learned, he now is a part of the government with top secret clearance. So what is implied there to me is that whatever his position is, that clearance follows him. Meaning
in
that's the
reference-
clearance that he also has.
So in reference to that, also Trump put out a memorandum to resolve the backlog of security clearances for the executive office of the president. which has also been controversial
Oh,
because it
boy.
gives a directive. This is not. This
Let's
is actually.
speak on the video we just heard though. So what does that
And
imply
I'm
to you?
speaking.
Matt?
I'm
See how
speaking on
you
the video.
see
in
how they
reference-
move the
Damn,
video.
can you
You
shut
see how
up,
they
brother?
move the goalposts.
That's not
Can-
moving the goalpost. This is actually in reference to the video itself. Maybe you need to go get checked out mentally, buddy.
No, I'm good. You're the one with TDS. You test
I have
tube
no
babies.
TDS. I haven't even mentioned Trump yet.
you test tube babies.
Oh God!
Bandit.
Hey, what is happening?
I don't know what's wrong with this guy.
Y'all chill.
All right, let's hear from Jake in second. So I'm gonna go to Jake first. Jake has been up here, then we're gonna go to second.
Yeah, well, that video, I mean, it kind of, referred back to what I was saying earlier, how Elon was in SGE, and you can't do what he's doing, and you can't have the access that he has without that, that top security clearance. It wouldn't work.
So what I'm saying,
Yeah,
sir, in reference to the SGA, it was controversial. That's one of the reasons why he was made that. First, it was an issue because he was just working alongside Trump with Doge. There was a lot of stuff about that. Then he became an SGA. Then they came out and stated, well, because of him being an SGA, he's now an official government employee that he can work alongside Trump. And then Trump made that actual video, the video which you heard, he made that and sent it at his desk at the White House. But also he passed a memorandum to go along with that says resolve backlog of security clearances for the executive office of the president, which it's a directive that authorizes the White House counsel to grant immediate interim top secret security compartmental information, TSSCI clearances to specify presidential appointees, enabling them access to classified information and facilities without completing the standard background investigations.
So that still means that he gave him a security clearance to me.
Yeah,
Me too.
Correct, because the executive branch allowed him
He
to have it.
only gave him clearance. This is the argument. This is
So
the
he
argument
did,
in
right?
like a
itself.
mug, boy.
So he
He
did.
doesn't actually. It's not moving the goalposts. The argument is that he actually owned one. He was only given the privilege after all this dust stuff was happened. This is the reason why I referenced the Senate's hearings. But in terms of
And the
when it comes
semantics
to a
again.
senator, a congressman, or someone on one of these committees, he has not gone through the process.
He does not
whatsoever.
sit on a committee. He doesn't have to.
That's not what I'm
I would-
saying.
I would say- So I would say he had that. He
All right, let's hear
needs to have that.
second.
I would say he had to have that clearance even before joining the Trump administration, because his Elon's companies are intertwined with the Department of Defense and
Thank you.
NASA.
That does not mean
and
that does
they're-
not mean that you will have a clearance to see private classified
Okay, so
documents.
how does okay, but he's dealing with. Let me finish my question. How does
Go ahead.
a contractor, say like Lockheed Martin, who's working on some secret new plane or secret new missile,
Or
how do they
Raytheon,
have, or Raytheon, or SpaceX is
who the former
SpaceX is-
sec def sit on the board.
right. SpaceX is right up there with those military contractors, as well as Starlink, which is providing broadband access for the military and for foreign
I got it.
allies. So
Cool.
So I mean, there's a lot of confidential, classified information that Elon's companies are privy to. So how does a private contractor have that access or have that knowledge without having some type of top secret security clearance?
So two things. One, I think you had a PT, public trust. Just because you have a public trust, it will grant you access, but it doesn't necessarily grant you or makes you privy to specific information. There's access, there's clearance, and there's need to know. That's what I'm stating. There's a
I
grant, and just
Yeah, I
because
just want to know
understand that.
why he needs to know about
Hold on,
sushi
hold on.
charges.
Listen. I don't know what you're talking about, the sushi charge. I'll let you defend that. But in reference to that, just because he has a clearance for said his contracts in terms of what he does on SpaceX or Starlink, whatever the case may be, does not grant him access to look at said like Russia, Ukraine top security information. It does. That's not how it works. Just because you get a blanketed
No, yeah, I
clearance.
understand.
But whose
Yeah, I
but whose
understand that it's
position is that, Emil? I don't
got-
think anyone is. I don't think anyone is saying anything about Russia and all of these types of
That's not
things.
my point. That's my point is that you just because you get a clearance doesn't mean it grants you access to everything. That's not how clearances work.
He doesn't look at everything. He looks at
Yeah.
spending.
What I got,
Oh
what
my
I got
God,
from,
this guy,
what I
man.
got from, what I got from what I heard from the video is, he's get special clearances upon approval of the president. That's what Donald Trump actually just said out his mouth. Did I hear that wrong?
No, you
So
heard
what
it
he
correct.
did, so what he did, what Trump did state, and this is the reason why I said you got to follow the trail. Previously, he had nothing as it pertains to what I need to know in terms of that information, access to those databases or those servers, which is Doge is doing. Then it was so much flat behind it, so he made him an SGA.
Really?
Then he made him an official government employee, an advisor to Trump, which
Okay.
which he was constantly just giving, which the argument has been the
See,
argument.
he's grandstanding.
I'll land right here.
Hold on, Cleveland. Hold on, Cleveland. I'm finished.
I'll land right here. And what's up, Patriot?
What's up, man?
Yeah, I'll land right here. The argument has been because he did not have any of this access and he was viewing this sensitive information. That was the initial argument by the left and some on the right.
So in reference, I'm sorry, Patriot. In
Go ahead,
reference
man.
to that
I'm
video, hold on. In reference to that video that Patriot just played a bit ago with the few seconds of Trump, that's the same quote I read earlier. So that's two forms of media that you're hearing that.
So what we're failing to understand is this. One, he's the president of the United States. He can do whatever the hell he wants. Now, I'm pretty sure that in previous administrations, they gave security clearances to a few people that was on Judiciary Committee. We just never heard about it. At the end of the day, they are the president of the United States. They could pick up ML right now and give ML clearance, security clearance. He could do that. He's the president.
Yeah, so and like you said, based on that video, I mean, if Trump said, "Hey, Elon, I want you to go look at this over here," but it requires a different kind of security clearance, you don't think he would have it? Probably will.
Yep. He'll have it with. He'll have it within 5 seconds.
Hold on, Shay, what's going on?
No, I'm just asking what was the original question? What were we originally talking
So they were
about?
originally
the original is the prompt is Elon can stay as long as he wants. That's a quote from Trump when asked the other day, what are his plans for Elon? Is he gonna keep him there? Is he gonna move him or appoint him? Now that's a nice duck, and that's what Trump said. So that's the prompt. What are your thoughts on Trump saying that Elon can stay as long as he wants, and actually potentially once Doge is done, giving him an official appointment?
Miss Candid, I can answer that for you. Elon has multi-billion-dollar companies to run.
I kind of wanted to answer. Go
Go
ahead.
ahead. Go ahead, Shay.
I just feel like at the end of the day, he's the president. This is the people that he wants in there. Now, I feel like we really need to talk about this damn tariff war that's happening.
Oh boy.
And what are we gonna do about that? But I'll stick with the prompt because you my sis.
Okay,
and
let's
I love
go with
the show.
the tariff war. Go ahead. What do y'all want to know about the tariffs? 'Cause,
What is it? What Miss Shay? What is it? What is it? What Miss Shay? What is a tariff war? I don't understand.
It's ridiculous.
We're getting
The reciprocal.
No, it's not.
Okay.
Miss
So
Shay,
Candid, hold
Go
on.
ahead,
So let
Shay.
me. I know I'm trying, y'all. Y'all know I don't be getting up here talking often. This is a treat. I'm just playing, Candid. like, I don't know if I told you this, but you know, my brother is like a full-throated Trump supporter for many reasons, but that's not why I dislike him. I have 99 other reasons not to like my brother, but I love him. What he said to me, I was talking to him about all of this. There's nothing that we can do about it. No, not one single sentence on this panel, not one marathon panel, not nothing is going to change whatever it is that they want to do. And that's how I'll land there. That's my thoughts.
So the question was about the tariffs, right? So let me get the tariff thing straight with you. We have been getting robbed blind from tariffs from other countries for decades. Now all he's doing is evening the playing field. So all those little Michael Jordan sneakers we wearing are coming from Vietnam that's being made in sweatshops for 10 cents at the dollar. They're going to go up a little bit. They're going to go up to $18 to $20. Yes, they're going to go up a little bit.
Nike just lost $10 billion.
Yes, but I'm saying this, with
Nike alone.
what Donald Trump is saying, and Gucci and stuff like that too. They're in fear too right now, because right now their items have to go up, even though they have to.
Let me just ask.
But these are the people that control the economy.
But Shay, who
Let him
okay,
finish.
outside of-
Can't hear the point he's trying to make.
outside, hold on, Terry, I got you. So outside of, they do hire people, are their products a necessity? Gucci, Nike,
The luxury.
Or luxury.
they're luxuries. So it's.
I mean, Kansas, I love a good Air Force One, honey.
Do
They're
you
great
need
to
them,
work
though?
in.
But do you need them?
No.
No, I have enough.
Okay, so.
But that
about
doesn't
those.
matter because it helps stimulate the economy. When people got money in their pocket, they buy shit, and when they buy shit,
And that's why we
your
broke.
economy booms.
That's
And
why
that's
we
just
consumers that buy a lot of
Who
things
broke?
that we don't need.
The more to the point of this is that since they brought up the tariffs,
My Nikes,
so
I'm just saying.
so in reference to the reciprocal tariff, which is with the 60 countries, even islands that have no one that are inhabited by no humans.
Okay.
If that said, if it was such a big deal and we was getting robbed so blind, why haven't far right Republicans currently in the Senate made this argument and pushed forward? Specifically, Rand Paul, Thomas Massey, Ted Cruz, Jim Jordan. Why haven't they argued for these reciprocal tariffs?
Actually, they have been.
Why haven't they said that the U.S. is being robbed blind?
They've been
Okay,
saying that for
Nancy
years,
Pelosi did. Does anyone have that Nancy Pelosi video?
Yeah,
From
Nancy
Ohio?
Pelosi been saying it.
Why
Paul Ryan before he left been saying it. We've been getting robbed blind.
Why
by the
is
East
it?
for decades?
So my question is that why isn't there any piece of legislation out there?
Well,
Because we know. Wait, talking about to my man. Let me answer that, Ken,
Trump.
Mel, we know that most of our politicians that's up there is in the pocket of these donors of Nike.
No.
Yes.
No. I know what you try to pivot to, but
Okay,
why?
does anyone have a laptop or a phone next to them, two phones that they can play that
I
Nancy
do.
Pelosi video? You have it. Can you
I'm on my
pull it up,
computer.
Rainey? Go ahead, Patriot. You can finish your point.
Well, my point I'm trying to make is what Trump is trying to tell us is yes, stuff is going to go up for like a month or two, couple of months. Bear with him. These people will come back to negotiating table because these tariffs are going to hurt them more than it helps them.
Yes.
Because consumers are not going to buy. When consumers don't buy, they lose money quickly. So
We are the biggest consumer of products in the world. The
Canada's
U.S.
already
is the
coming back in
biggest
favor, so
consumer.
is England.
yes, what he's trying to say is they need us. We don't need them. We're the biggest consumer in the world. If we don't buy, companies go bankrupt. That's what he's banking on, and I believe in him.
Banking on. So I'm curious, how did it fare in his first administration?
First of all, we had tariffs. We had tariffs in his first administration, and it worked out perfectly for us.
It actually did. It hurt the farmers.
Yes, we did. Steel and lumber did go up for a minute. Gas prices did go up for a minute, but after a while, they went right back down. You can look that up, ML. I'm not lying.
I would encourage you to go look. It did not help.
ML, we didn't have tariffs in Donald Trump's first administration.
We did, but it
Yeah,
hurt.
plenty of tariffs.
Why didn't Biden reverse them if they were such a problem?
Exactly.
Hey, I got that video.
Yeah, I was about to
Okay,
say,
all
I got
right,
it too.
everybody, can you please mute and let him play that video of Nancy Pelosi? I'll mute as well. Go ahead.
Sorry, I just went.
Well, I would just ask you to look at the video and listen to her language where she talks about reciprocity and reciprocal tariffs, which, if you think about it, is exactly what President Trump's tariffs are.
But if we just want to take up this issue on the basis of economics alone, indeed, China should not receive most favored nation status for several reasons that I'd like to go into now. I'd like to call the attention of our colleagues to this chart on the status quo that the business community is asking each and every one of us to endorse today. Right now, we have a $34 billion trade deficit with China, the 1995 figure. It will be over $40 billion for 1996. Since the Tiananmen Square massacre, this figure has increased 1,000%, from $3.5 billion then to about $34 billion now. In terms of tariffs, I think it's interesting to note that the average U.S. MFN tariff on Chinese goods coming into the United States is 2%, whereas the average Chinese MFN tariff on U.S. goods going into China is 35%. Is that reciprocal? On exports, China only allows certain industries into China, of U.S. Industries into China, and therefore only 2% of U.S. exports are allowed into China. On the other hand, the U.S. allows China to flood our markets with a third of their exports, and that'll probably go over 40%. And it's limitless because we have not placed any restriction. In terms of jobs, this is the biggest and cruelest hoax of all. Not only do we not have market access, not only do they have prohibitive tariffs, not only are our exports not let in very specifically, but China benefits with at least 10 million jobs from U.S.-China trade. The president in his statement requesting this special waiver said that China trade supports 170,000 jobs in the United States, 170,000 jobs, whereas our imports from China support 10 million jobs at least. Fact is that U.S.-China trade is a job loser.
Now, I don't know about you, but to me, Nancy Pelosi.
That don't sound like Nancy Pelosi.
Like President
That's Nancy Pelosi.
Oh, that's definitely
That
her.
was
But
Nancy
no,
Pelosi. I didn't realize Nancy Pelosi was cute.
Yeah,
That was 1995. Yeah,
When was that?
that
When was
doesn't
that?
sound like, hold on,
That sound
ML,
like a
that
younger
doesn't
version of
sound
her.
like her because number one,
hold on,
she's
but-
singing, hold on,
wait,
she's singing a different, hold on, she's singing a different tune now, but this was her in the 90s.
Oh, come on,
Of
man.
course she doesn't.
That's
What?
out of here.
Well, let me say this, but let me
Put it
say
in
this.
the
The
box.
reason why, hold on, the reason why that video is important is because the other day during Trump's speech, he mentioned how the United States was pretty much a country that depended on tariffs since the 1800s, and by 1919 they introduced the income tax, and then by 1929 the Great Depression hit because they started changing the way we do tariffs. So he said even then, back then when the nation was great and we had so much money we didn't know what to do with it, he's referencing a time period when tariffs actually worked, the way that he's implementing them. Now, years later, after 1929, I'll say 30, so 90, so 65 years later, Nancy Pelosi said this in 1995, I believe, or 94. This is what was going on. Now, 30 years later, Trump is saying again, hey, look, we got to return to this because it's not reciprocal. So that's why it's relevant. And I think that we need to at least hear him out, even if not Trump, hear Nancy Pelosi 30 years ago complaining about the same thing.
It's highway robbery.
It's an ongoing thing, ML.
Yeah,
It's
put
an
on
ongoing
Nancy
thing.
Pelosi
It's
endorsed
unfixed.
Trump tariffs. That's all you have to do.
Guys, my point I was making was it's highway robbery.
Yes, it is.
To tax your own citizens and then let everybody else import their stuff in here for basically crumbs while they're putting tariffs on us. It doesn't make it, and our products don't even go to their country. They don't even allow our products in their country. So we're getting robbed on both sides.
No, they don't allow our produce to go into the country because of the pesticides. I will say that.
But Cleve Dog, it's highway robbery.
It is. I agree 100%, bro.
It's a robbery.
I do.
That's why everything is so much expensive in America today, because we're getting robbed.
I know. But see, this goes also back to the 1948 when they introduced the Marshall Plan.
Mm-hmm.
And we gave
products made in America are actually more expensive.
Well, when you look at what they did for the Marshall Plan, since 1948 until now, Europe has made over $13 billion of goods coming from the United States going to their country. But when they come to our country, we get the tariffs tax like motherfucker. Right? So we're propping up their economy, but we're killing our people in our economy.
And Shay, to go back to what you're saying, first of all, Polo Ralph Lauren is 5 times cheaper than a Gucci shirt. So products that are made in USA is actually
that doesn't have anything to do with the price of shit in a toilet.
Yes, it does.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
Products that are created in the United States on Monday is cheaper than a goddamn big one.
Gucci is deemed a luxury brand, like the top of the top of the top. Even though
Don't nobody care about Gucci. I don't care about Gucci or Dior and all of that. Did you see that article and news? It was a news article that came out, I think last year, that Dior pays probably $75 to make something, and then charge the consumer upwards of $1,200 for the same thing. It only took them $75 to make elsewhere. So here's my thing. I don't care about the luxury brands. I'm a reseller, so I resell luxury brands. And I'm gonna tell you now, the old vintage pieces were up to par. Nowadays, they're cheap, super cheap.
Yeah.
But my thing is
exactly.
My thing is, and I don't. So why are we buying this cheap stuff, anyways? But nevertheless, this is what I think. Something as simple as, I believe all McDonald's little toys are made in China, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
Even if we start there with all these different creators throughout America making these toys and dolls, even if McDonald's would just change who they get the toys from, the local area, support those local toy makers and stuff like that, that will boost the economy. That will allow those people to not only have revenue coming in from a big corporation, because everybody's going to like it, and then hire people as well. It's the small little changes that we can make where the consumer consumes the most. So, and I think it's something
look
that
what
can
Apple's
happen.
doing.
Hold on, I think that's something that can happen. And the reason why I say that is because even plastic, right? I think all these toys are plastic, right? We have an abundance of plastic. So it's not like we don't have the material here to make these small changes. So not only we're killing like 3 birds with 1 stone, just with a small change like that. I only say that because I believe Hilo in the comments said, we've gone too far to tear it down and rebuild the way that we do this. And it's not. We literally have here in America everything that we need to do what we need to do.
Exactly.
And if Americans start supporting themselves and stop consuming products, goods, and services from other countries, we will be okay. Because I truly believe we are the #1 consumers on the planet. Because we got the money, we live life of luxury and excess. So what? Yes, Terrell. Yes.
If you can afford a $3,000 person, then you can afford a $3,500 person and do your civic duty and support the country. But one other argument that I can hear was the actual national security implications of the tariff is we are, I think one of your lives you were talking about our codependency on Canada. and their ability to turn off our lights if we get into an argument, because we get our electricity from Canada and Michigan or wherever that was, but another thing is our raw materials, like our steel and aluminum industries. We're codependent on China to provide like these
No, we're not.
very
No, we're not.
like
No, we're
these
not.
raw.
One
Well,
at a time.
I'm talking. Anyway, what I'm saying is, if we get into a hot war with China, if we're codependent on China to provide our raw material manufacturing for steel and aluminum and things that our military needs to fight a war, then we've already shot ourselves in the foot. And,
No, we haven't.
If nothing else, those tariffs would reverse that and bring some of those core imperative industries back into the U.S.
Yes, that's the whole point of President Trump putting tariffs on China, because what China was doing is using Canada to sneak their goods across the border so they can pay a lower tax on it or a tariff on it. So what happened was he put a tariff on all that and spanked Canada's in the ass too for doing that. Now, with that being said, we don't need any other nation. I remember a time when before they signed NAFTA into law, everything that you went to Walmart, everything in Walmart was made here in the United States.
Right.
We got away from that. Now we need to bring that back. And President Trump is the only one on Capitol Hill, the only one in the Oval Office that sees that. All the other presidents use that form of power to create themselves a nest egg, like the Clintons, like the Obamas, like the Bushes, especially the Bushes.
Yeah.
And they stole wealth. They allow other countries to steal wealth from our country, our nation.
And
now we have a short time to fix this great ship of ours to turn it around from the cliff, because with $37 trillion in debt, $2 trillion in the deficit spending, we got to stop that. And President Trump is the only one that has talked about that. No other president has said anything about that, especially not Biden. Biden was asleep at the wheel, as a matter of fact.
Okay, cool. But think about it, y'all speaking about basis to obtain the living status that they're after. Because at the end of the day, you're saying trade war. You're not saying
We're not saying a trade war. You said a trade war.
You said think about this. Reality. Look at reality. Who is benefiting from all this? We are not, the working class American people are not benefiting, because you have to go through the pain in the struggle just to get back to a medium, because you're not getting back to the bottom. And we got to understand and realize, okay, we say American first, right? But when you come back to the American soil, why is the price is going to be so much higher? Because to do it the American way. We got to understand and realize that, okay, this don't benefit the people who work on a daily basis.
It's not a trade war when the other.
It's not a trade war.
It's not a trade war when the other side can't compete.
We can't mass produce. We don't have the resource to mass produce the things that we are buying.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
We can produce a certain amount, but we will not be able to find it over long periods of time. It won't be sustainable for long periods of time, because the lumber we're getting from Canada, we know what Canada lumber fields look like compared to America. We can't produce it at the rate that Canada produces.
We can.
Yeah, Canada won't have gas without Americans, but we refine their oil.
But
Canada needs us
and get resources of gas from other countries.
Canada needs us. We don't need Canada. We don't need China.
We need all people.
No,
Why
we don't.
Do you think they made
no, we don't. That's
Canada's largest commodity is oil.
One at a time.
Right.
We shut down the oil. They shut down everything.
Listen, Mr. Sakin, what you were saying earlier about Canada. Canada is just running their gums because they have lips. I promise you, they would not win this trade war with us.
I understand that. It was the statement, and the fact that they can do that is the problem. It's like we've given foreign countries leverage over us.
We will crush them. They will lose this trade war so bad. Within 6 months, their economy will be crushed. The Canadian dollar is already getting crushed as we speak. They're just running out because they got mouth.
They're already
those people were not in need listen to what I'm saying. If those people were not in need, we would put the tariffs so high to the point where we know they wouldn't purchase our product. See, that's what y'all not understanding. If you know that those people are not in need and you don't need they money to add to the GDP, you would put the numbers so high so you force them out and force them away so you can produce on your own. So that's what y'all not getting. If you didn't need those people, you were forced. That's what.
Yeah, but isn't that what they doing to us? High low, but isn't that what they're doing to us?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It was an agreement made by the United States.
I get it, but isn't that what they're doing to us?
Dumb politicians who had they sold out our nation. Hello, they dumb politicians sitting up there at Capitol Hill sold out our nation to enrich themselves and their family. I don't give a damn if you got a D, I, or R behind your last name. They did it. Now the problem is, how do we fix it? Well, we can fix it because one, we can start making our products here in the United States of America.
Right.
There's no way of fixing that problem.
Wait a minute.
in
Let
a
me
capitalist
finish.
country.
Let me finish. If we start making our products here in the United States of America, what Trump said, if you make it here, the sales tax on your businesses will be super low, somewhere like 15% low.
Facts.
Not even 21.
And Apple saw that.
And then on top of that, he's talking about getting rid of the federal income tax already. Then on top of that, he's talking about giving more money back to the American people so they can have put in their pocket. Now
He's
that
not
is
giving anything. That's what y'all not understanding. Y'all believing in him giving something. He's not giving
He's
nobody
doing it.
nothing.
The bills
he's
are
not.
on the
That's
floor.
point.
The
How
bills
he
are
giving
on
you
the
something
floor
you working
already.
for? What is he giving you that
The
you not
bills are
working
in
for?
committee, being
Come on,
ready to
man.
be voted on.
That's what y'all not understanding. He's not giving nobody anything.
I know when you're not
pushing
when
the power.
you're not understanding.
I
When you're not understanding.
I would say this. Me, this is just me, and maybe that's why I could never be doing something like this. But any product, like say for instance, I believe all toys. I'm just saying, maybe because I have a little kid, but all toys should be made in America, right? And anything outside of America, I'm just talking about one little industry, and it should be classified as a luxury because it's a luxury to have something exotic out of another country. And I think that it will deter people from purchasing, or a select group of people would have the ability to purchase those high-end products, even though they're cheap. The products that are priced higher because they're luxury goods, right? And I think that if companies still want to, hey, how you doing? If companies still want to import these items from other places, then they have every right to strike up the price. But I think to encourage American enterprise and consumer behavior, influence consumer behavior, to let them purchase from us, everything American should be prioritized. Anything else can be considered a luxury item and taxed. That's what I think.
So
But my thing is right here.
Tell Trump
Why-
that, y'all.
My thing is,
And
made in America. Why made in America gonna cost the American people the most when you can get it for cheap? And that's what y'all not understanding. When
We
you
don't
start
want-
making
but
it in
here's the
America,
thing.
you're gonna
so
increase the price
manufacturers
and the
will have a
price.
High
choice.
low.
Listen, hold on. And the wages will not
Here's
go
the
up.
thing. High
The
low. Here's
wages
the
is not
thing.
going up. They
High
not gonna
low,
raise
here's
the
the
wages of
thing.
working.
Here's the thing. The cost and the price are two different things. The price is what we pay. The cost is what it takes to make that product, right? Now, as it relates to the cost of America, our economy and our country, we are now paying a price for being dependent, codependent on another country to supply everything that we need. That is costly. That is a high damn price to pay for a cheap item. That's how
But the-
I see it.
But the
Absolutely.
American corporation won't pay the workers the dollars that they need to be paid in order to do the work. And
This
that's
is
the
why.
issue, too.
Wait, and
That's
this
why
is
they went
The
overseas.
tariffs will incentivize the manufacturers to either absorb those costs, or if they pass those costs to the consumer, then or to bring their manufacturing back to the U.S. So what the benefit to the ordinary person is more employment opportunities as these manufacturers move their operations back to
Back
the
to
U.S. to avoid paying the tariffs. So that's the benefit. And then like Candid was saying, yes, some of our spending habits will need to change unless if you got it like that, then you don't have to change anything. But yeah, if that foreign thing costs more than the domestic thing, then most people are just going to buy the domestic thing. It's just how markets work. You're going to buy what you can afford. So, if those foreign products are no longer being sold, then those companies got a decision to make. They're gonna have to bring their manufacturing to us, or they're gonna go out of business.
But say capitalism can't be reversed. That's one thing we cannot do. We can't reverse capitalism. It's just that's the end game. Capitalism. We can't reverse that. Just be realistic.
First of all, when the 2025 Trump Tax Cuts and Jobs Act finally get passed, you're not going to care if a dozen of eggs costs $10, bro, because you're going to have the money to afford it.
But why would the American people have a short-term tax cut, but the corporation have
a long-term? It's not a short-cut tax.
That's what y'all don't understand.
It's not a short-term.
It is.
No.
I guarantee you that.
Hello. Let me tell you. Once this goes into effect, and the globalists like the Bush family, and the globalists like the Bush family for open borders and globalists will
talk about back then. Wait a
minute. Let me finish. Because they're behind this push for lower wages. Once that goes away and wages go up, wages will increase, and our products will be made here in America. You won't be caring about that.
Exactly. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Well, why they wouldn't? Why they ain't stand on Capitol Hill? Hold on. Why they ain't stand on Capitol Hill and had a meeting with the major corporation to help lower price on the American people? Why the corporation?
Most of our politicians, doesn't matter if it's a D or R by their name, are being sponsored by these same people. We finally got a president that's saying, to hell with Wall Street, to hell with donors, to hell with the rich class. I'm focusing on the hardworking American people. For once in our life, we have a president that's saying, I'm putting my people first.
Exactly.
That's an illusion. Y'all buying into this illusion. How is he talking about the American people
you
first?
just gotta wait, bro.
He hasn't implemented anything about wages. I have seen a rescan of a executive order Biden put in to make sure the wages of federal contractors be increasing, but he stopped it. Why is he stopping federal wages from
what products do the government make?
Zero.
But guess
they
what?
They don't make any products, so they don't have nothing to put on the market for sale. Now he's getting all those government employees out of the government sector and get them to the private sector where they can either make it or swim or sink on their own and not have being propped up because they've been in the same position for 15 years making hundreds of thousands of dollars and working from home and getting paid by the American people. It's time to and nobody said this when Obama did it. Nobody said anything when the Clintons did it. But now Trump is doing it. Everybody bitching and moaning, complaining.
But when you privatize things, the prices go through the roof. When you privatize, because there's no regulation on it. There's no regulation on privatization. That's what y'all. That's what you push.
No.
Privatized.
You talking about something else?
Who can benefit from it?
You do not benefit.
Who benefit from privatization?
But hello.
Come on, man.
Hold on, wait. Hello.
Entrepreneur benefits.
Hold on 1 second. Hello.
You don't understand. He moved the goalpost.
Hold on 1 second. Hello. You do know the state regulates the private organizations. Like people say he's trying to privatize the government safety net benefits like food stamps, health care, and all of that. Even insurance. You do know, I see a red cardinal, y'all. You do know, hold on, let me show you. Let me show y'all this beautiful cardinal. Let me see. Can y'all see it? Oh, I can't. Oh, I can zoom in. Hold on.
It's a cardinal. I see him.
That cardinal came from Virginia. Just like,
Hold on.
Catch him, Candid. Catch him.
Can't catch no cardinal. Dang, I wish I could show you. It's so beautiful.
I thought it came from St. Louis.
But even the reason why I say that, because even here locally, throughout the states, the premiums on insurance, that has to go through the state. They set the premium. So you can't privatize something Well, you can privatize it. However, the state still has a say in how much you charge for it. Not necessarily like your own private business and all of that, but anything where mass consumers take part in and also the government has its hand in, the state government has a say so in the prices. So I don't think they're trying to privatize things, and if so, they're just taking it to the state to regulate it.
So what has the state done about the insurance agency, the medical? They haven't done nothing. They allowed those people to do as they please.
The state, no, the
Let's be
state is
realistic
the
about
one.
it.
The states are the ones. You got to Google it. The state are the ones that actually let them know if the premiums are okay. Look, Google it. They tell these
Who run
people.
who run the
They're
majority of the
ones.
states?
I might even add that the states are the ones that damn near set the premiums for your
Yes, the
insurance.
governors.
Yeah, just Google it. So again,
That's what I'm saying.
with
And
this.
the
Hold
governors
on.
are ran by lobbyists. They are ran by lobbyists. Come on, man. Y'all got to be realistic
It's
about
who
what y'all
you
saying.
vote- it's who
No,
you
you
voted
can't
for,
keep
though,
moving
bro.
the
It's who you
goalposts. The thing is, even if they privatize these things, the state regulates them.
Look at California. California, the
Everything
fire
back to the state.
insurance. California, the fire insurance. The people lost a lot of fire insurance because of the state.
Yep.
They didn't approve the state didn't approve the cost, the raise of insurance. They didn't approve it, so everyone just lost their insurance.
Right.
Hell yeah.
The state was responsible for that, not the
And-
insurance company.
And guess what? Now they're running to asking FEMA for more money to help with that.
Hell no.
No.
But I got one question though. Isn't the state part of government?
Yeah, but it's separate though. It's separate, bro.
The state is not
I don't
federal
understand.
Separate. It's separate.
You have your local.
Listen, the state is not
You
the
have your
federal
local,
government.
state, and federal government.
But it's state government. It's not federal government. No. I know it's not federal, but
That's
it's
your
part of
local-
government.
Hilo,
The
Hilo,
state is
Hilo.
part of government.
Hilo, listen to me. This is what Trump is doing, Hilo. He's putting everything back into the power of your local government.
Absolutely.
Now, when things go wrong, you cannot blame Washington. You can't blame the president. You blame the people in your state
you voted
put
for.
in office.
Your mayor.
That's right.
Your,
That's right.
your governor.
That's what y'all
Democrats.
don't understand it. The state's
Those
been
Democrats
over all these things that you're speaking about. The state's been over, right? The state's been in control, right? They have not done what they're supposed to.
No, they
As
haven't.
of late,
Oh man,
as of late
stop it.
throughout the years, we have become more and more dependent on the federal government. What Trump is trying to do is reverse that. Now everything is going to go back to how it was in the 70s and stuff like that, where
Exactly.
your state controls everything that goes on in its state. The federal government doesn't want nothing to do with that no more.
Yeah.
You
The federal government
control
only
your
provides the
state,
state
Hilo.
with a small percentage of their spending budget. What are you saying?
What?
They only
Hilo.
It's all
Look
based
and see
on
how
how
much-
it's all based on
Hold on,
the
hold on,
system
hold
and
on.
They're
everything,
asking
man.
for
It's,
Let
it's,
me help
it's
him,
more than
D-Rich.
that,
Let me help him understand this. Hilo, listen what I'm telling you. What Trump is doing is this. He's dismantling all these federal branches up there at Washington. The same money that's there that been going to your state is going to still go there. Now, the money is going to be all in your governor's hands. Nobody can complain anymore that the federal government ain't give me this or the mayor didn't give me that. They give the mayor this. The money is going to be right there for them. There's going to be an oversight. Of course, there's going to be somebody watching what they're doing. But now, when that school doesn't get the basketball court it needs fixed, or it doesn't get the bathroom done that needs to get done,
or the
it's gonna be
roads.
all on your mayor and your governor
Yeah.
that you elected.
same way in Mississippi when they built that for Brett Favre, right? Okay.
Listen,
That's
what I'm trying to
y'all
say
understand.
is this. Like I said, like in Chicago and stuff like that. You see how they complain, how they're blaming the federal government for why all the schools are closing, or why this is happening, or why is that happening? Those excuses are no longer excusable anymore, because all the money is going to be charged by your local in charge of your local government. Now they can fix all these things. They don't have nobody go to the media and hide and lie and say, oh, the president didn't give us the money, or FEMA didn't give us the money, so that's why this didn't happen. Bullshit. It's in your goddamn bank account. Now you can fix it.
Yep.
Okay,
Get it?
cool. Well, why before the infrastructure bill came about that these roads just start coming about being fixed if the state was in charge and control, because they don't have the money that it takes to fix these roads without the
And
federal
this is
government.
why
That's why
That's
because
the
all the
problem
money
with
was
that
going
state.
other places, so he's making them. He's giving
Find
them
out
the
where they're
power to
spending
fix
that
it.
money.
Now we can
Yeah,
find
find
out
out
They
where
where.
haven't
they're
been. They haven't
spending
been
the
using the
money.
money for our state, bro. They've
Yeah.
been putting all this other bullshit, and now he's
Yeah.
making them put it to where it needs to go. So if nothing's getting done, then you can look at your government. Your governor be like, "Hey, where's this money going? What's going on?"
Your governor, yep, your state legislator,
Hey, bro.
your mayor.
They're gonna put that money where they choose to, regardless of how y'all feel to see it.
At the
No.
end of the year, something doesn't get done, President Trump can show you the receipt. Look, he got all his grants. He got all his grants for this. He got all his grants for schools. He got all his grants for that. So if it doesn't get done,
so
on your mayor, it's on your governor or your local official, wherever you live at in a small town, it's on them.
Yeah.
So don't
High
those-
low,
all
so
those people you're
high
saying,
low,
right?
so
They
high
get
low, so
audited,
if
right? Don't all
high
those
low, if
people
you're
get-
saying they're gonna do what they want, if you're saying they're gonna do what they want anyway,
They
then why
do what they
advocate for giving them more power?
They've been doing what they want. The state been in power.
Why are
so
you
what
No,
saying?
why are you
it's been the
advocating?
federal
No, why are you
government, man.
advocating
It's
for
been the
giving them
federal
more
government,
power?
bro, and that's the problem. You can't have the federal government having too much power. So now the states have to take control of their cities, of their towns. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
They have to do it, bro. If not, then you can look at them and be like, "Where's this money going?" There's an issue. So when you go vote, you get their ass up out of
Hold
there.
your local
Yeah,
government.
if they're not doing the right
accountable.
thing, don't give them more control, give them less.
Less. Now it's your local government. Now it's on them.
This
We're
is
not
what I'm
being their
breaking down
judge.
to you all. I'm speaking about the local government been failing the people for the longest, but you're not understanding. It's
High
like
low,
the school
because
system.
Money
The
from the
school system,
federal
I put the
government, bro.
school
It has
system
High
as one.
low.
The
High low.
local
You're not
government has
listening
been
to
running the
High
school system for so long, but you put it off on the federal government.
High low. You're not listening.
Listen.
High low. You're not listening to a word I'm telling you. The reason why things have been happening because they can go back and blame the federal government. Oh, FEMA didn't give me this. Oh, the president refused to give me that. Oh, they refused to give me that. There is no more of that, High-Low. Now, all the grants and money is going to go straight to their office now. Here you go.
Mute up, everybody. Let Candid interview this guy.
Hold on.
Tap the like too. Tap your screen likes. She ain't
Yeah,
getting
so-
any hearts.
Hey everyone, we are. I finished my 10K steps, so this is the view now. This gentleman is fishing. I asked him what he think about Trump. He said he don't follow politics, so you could have had someone give their April 22nd at 11 a.m. We're going to have Sheldon Daniels on, the gentleman running against Jasmine Crockett in Texas. We're going to have him on Canada American live morning walk in politics. Talk politics show. So make sure y'all come through. So that's April 22nd at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if y'all been following me thus far on the live, you would have, if you were even stepping in place, you would have over 12,000 steps thus far. So just remember, this is the morning walk and talk politics show where we engage in healthy debate and healthy activity. Surely if we can debate and have that in a healthy form, we can also lose some weight, y'all. We can get healthy together. So this is what this morning show is about. I think I'm about to go fishing, but I'm going to give us about 20 more minutes and then I'm going to wrap it up because I don't want to get banned again for being on my phone in the car. They got me 2 hours later though. So I think it's going to take me about 20 to 30 minutes to get to my car. Then I'll be back on tonight on my regular main page, the Canada American. So I'm still listening in. Great discussion. I've seen a few people saying, wow, the people on the panel are so smart. And I don't think it's sarcasm. They were saying that this panel knows what they're talking about. They're educated. So I appreciate y'all sharing y'all opinions and candid views on things because I'm learning from you all as well. So I really do appreciate the value each and every one you bring. So y'all can continue the conversation.
How's the pine pollen?
You know what? I seem to be the only one not affected. I'm from Florida, and the pollen is crazy in Florida, but I have yet to sneeze or cough. But it is affecting a lot of people here. The rain the other day kind of washed a lot of it away, but I'm good. I'm all right.
All right. Great show.
To sum it all up, what we're saying to High-Low is this, High-Low. we have a major problem in this country. One, we have an obese problem. Two, we have a tariff problem where we're getting robbed blind by everybody. Three, we have to hold our local officials accountable. And finally, we have a president who's willing to take on the challenge, who's willing to do all these things that other government officials refuse to do throughout the years. For once, we have a guy that says, to hell with Wall Street, to hell with all these donors, to hell with everybody, and I'm putting America first, brother.
Patriot. But Patriot. Just be realistic with yourself.
Can I ask Patriot a question real quick?
Go ahead, ma'am.
Is it fair to say that this is just a paradox, and how you feel is true and how Hilo feels is true as well?
No, not at all. Because facts is facts. Facts is facts. Facts is facts.
No, I think.
Hold on. I got something to say. I got something to say before I forget it. I feel it different because there's no plan in place to improve healthcare. There's no plan in place to really truly improve debt. Let me answer him. There's no plan in place to make better living
we out here.
There's no plan in place.
Suffering.
What the plans are, not just we gonna sit and wait and hope it happens. What are the plans? See,
Mr. Hilo,
there's a vision, but with no plan, there's no vision.
Mr. Hilo, this is the plan, Mr. Hilo. Before they did a survey, right? From the year like 99 to 2002, they did a survey. It was only about 3 or 4 states that had an obesity rate of 40% or higher. In today's world today, we have about at least 36 to 38 states that have an obese rate of 40% or higher. That means high blood pressure, cancer. That means all these things that's costing.
Patriot, when are you going to take accountability as just an individual?
No, we have bad chemicals and we have bad eating habits.
Okay, cool. What is the plan for it though? See, you're stating these things.
So this is the plan. This is what's happening.
Kennedy has not
they're going to reduce.
Kennedy has not put a plan out there yet. Kennedy has not put a plan.
Hold on. Let necessity speak. Good morning.
There's a plan.
The panel.
Good morning. There's a plan in place, and I'm not saying that I agree with it, but what they're doing right now when it comes to food stamps, people who are on food stamps, basically, let's say you was getting $700 a month. Guess what? It's gonna turn into $100 a month, and they're gonna put a box of non-perishable items in there and then give it to you, and that's what's in. I don't know if it's been passed yet, but that's what they're trying to do. So a lot of people who are getting a lot of money is going to do something with the healthcare. You can't buy all the snacks and all the fruity stuff and all the cereals, all the junk food. You can't do that no more. That's what they're trying to put into place.
Okay, cool, necessity, but I understand what you're saying. See, you're talking about people who get government assistance, right? Well, we're speaking about the world as a whole, where the United States as a whole. There is an obesity problem, but you're saying, okay, we're going to attack those who are on government assistance and say you can't only buy X with these assistance. But what about the working class people who can buy wherever they choose to? And we don't deregulate, you know what I'm saying, the things that we sell in our stores. Guess what? We cannot attack the problem. That's what I'm saying.
Because you can't control what people want to eat. So you can't control. The only way that you can control what people eat is if you're paying for it. And that's why I bring up government assistance, because outside of government assistance, you cannot control healthcare and how people be healthy and what they want to eat. Like if they got the money for it,
who's paying for government assistance?
There's a lot of money.
We can control the market. There's a lot of control the market of what we're selling on the shelf. We can control the market of what we sell on the shelf for people. We can control the market.
Who's paying for government
Go ahead,
assistance?
Shay. Go ahead, Shay. We hear you.
I got a question. How many people are on government assistance as opposed to 340 million people that's in this country? So yeah, you be able to control them with the government assistance and what they eat and stuff like that. But a majority of us don't receive government assistance, and I tell y'all one
But
thing.
that's the point. You can't control what people want to eat.
I know that's what I'm getting to.
If they can afford it, if they can afford it,
Can I
they're
finish?
going to
Can I
buy
finish?
it.
Let me finish real quick, because I've been quiet on this panel. One thing I know about human nature in general, we could talk about the consumption problem that we have, and we overconsume and all of this X, Y, and Z. But if you are determined to do what it is that you want to do, whether it be overconsume something or not, you're gonna do it. So you really, in order to regulate, the Republicans talk about less government in your business, but in order to regulate the things in which you all speak about, you would have to control the minds of the people. So do you want more government?
No.
Do you want less?
Let it go. Let it go. You can't
No, it's
control what
not. No,
people
we're
eat. Unless you
Yeah.
pay, unless you
That's
buying,
my point.
unless you buying or paying for it,
I just said
which
that.
is
but okay.
is people who
But
on
these are- but
Section
listen,
8. If you can't control it, then you can't control what people eat.
But Mr.
Sorry.
Sexton, these are the same people that's going into
Hey,
the
Rain,
doctor's
let me
office.
rotate you out real quick, Rain. It's been a pleasure hearing from you.
Okay. I'll see you
certainly-
later.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, but these are the
Yeah.
same people. These are the same people complaining that they need Medicaid, they need Medicare, all that stuff for the same injuries that they're causing themselves.
It's not
So they have
necessarily
some-
the same people.
But they have
Sometimes
to-
it's different people. But sometimes people who have never been on Section 8 and never had food stamps, but they still need Medicare. They still need Medicaid. When they get older, they still need Social Security, but they never did. Like, come on, it's not the same.
You're absolutely correct. But listen, we have a problem. We have a serious problem in this country. We can't even deploy troops in this country because people are too damn fat.
Well, that's not a government problem. That's that.
That's not a
You all
government
over the
problem,
place.
Shay.
I ain't gonna lie.
Okay.
You bring up good points, but can we tackle one point at a time? Because you really are bringing up great points. But
you know, the
how
thing
can
is,
we get anywhere if you talk about you're talking about war? Like,
I'm not talking about war. I'm just giving
see,
an
the thing
example.
is,
the truth.
you know,
Hey,
most
so,
of the
but okay, hold on. So here's the thing. Everything comes around in full circles, right? Everything is coming around in full circle. Everything is everything. So he's right. Recruiting is low, right? And a lot of these people can't pass the physical exams to become a part of our military. A lot of these people are overweight. Listen, I was overweight. I think I still am. That's why I'm walking out here. So the thing is, we are also I hate to say this, I'm gonna say we are a sick people, meaning a lot of us are morbidly obese. Food stamps and the things that you can buy with it, you can buy any damn thing on food stamps. But you know what people aren't buying on food stamps that they can also buy? Seeds, plants, fruit that they can buy. We buy a lot of different unhealthy things. So at this time, if anything breaks out, if war breaks out, we already see what's happening. I'm just saying, if it was to break out, do you believe the selection of Americans right now that we're going to draft, do you believe these people will be up to par to be in combat and be in the military? Do you believe we are conditioned as a people?
I don't.
Well,
Exactly.
I would
So
say
to Terrell's point,
the budget that they put in the,
so hold
in the
on,
DOD.
But I'm an Air Force
that goes
veteran,
to
and I actually
one second.
I left
Hold
the military
on. Okay, I'm not. Okay, please don't talk over me.
because I was fed.
To Terrell's point, people are not necessarily at top tier condition or even in any condition to be in the military. So we have to make sure our people is in shape. We have to make sure our people are healthy, right? I think our government's responsibility is the health of the people and being good stewards over things that governs our health care and the health of Americans. So I don't like government forcing people to eat healthy or good. but you have to look at what other countries are doing compared to ours. And America is falling behind in so many areas. And you won't have to have, you don't have to worry about damn tariffs and prices of goods and services if you don't have people here to consume them, because they're gone or they can't.
And that's what I'm saying. If the government control the preservatives and things that are put into foods, if we're saying there's an outcry for certain things that are causing obesity, we should deregulate those things to be not being able to put on the shelf. And that's what my whole.
Yeah, but that's a process, though, Hilo. You know what I'm saying?
It's a process.
I mean,
but
we got to control ourselves first.
The Kennedy guy that's ahead of the good morning. The guy that's ahead of health care, he is going into that by banning certain dyes. I think they have to be gone by
He's
next
about to
year.
be fired.
Oh God!
Why is he about
No,
to
he's
be
not.
fired?
Doge is firing everybody. He's about to be fired.
I don't
But
think
you're right. You're right in what you're
I'm
saying.
talking about Kennedy.
Robert Kennedy.
Or Kennedy.
I don't think he's about to be fired. He was appointed by
He's a cabinet secretary.
We talking about right now. We talking about right now. Right now,
Can
they're
I
being
chime in
fired.
on what you guys are talking about? I just made it
Yes.
to the panel. American, is that okay?
Good morning. Yes,
Um,
welcome to the panel.
Good morning. Thank you. And I appreciate you letting me up. I wanted to chime in real quick because RFK has already begun this process.
After you, JP is up.
Of eliminating a program that's called GRAS, GRAS. It is a program that the government uses that's called generally recognized as safe. So what's happened with the food industry is that they've put ingredients in our foods that they believe are safe, but are not safe by the FDA. The FDA has, for the most part, been kind of pushed to the side, and all new chemicals and packagings and stuff like that are not being green lighted by the FDA. Our government and food industries, manufacturers, and so forth have pushed them to the side and using the term or this idea of we think it's safe. We believe it to be safe. So RFK is coming in right off the bat to get rid of that particular program or that ideology or what our manufacturers are using in reference to our food. In order to do that, that would eliminate, you can consume what you want to consume. It's what's in it that's making you obese. It's what's in it that's causing heart disease. It's what's in it that's causing diabetes. So if we start right there, then that's a great place to be. It's a perfect starting point is to get specific ingredients out of our food. And that includes what Captain was talking about earlier. That includes the dyes, that includes all the additives, it includes all of that. So I believe if you guys can just sit back and let the people that Trump has put in place to do their job instead of complaining, then we can get somewhere. We can't
It's
get
not
anywhere.
all the way. No. It's not
Everything
100%. It's not 100%. You said a lot of good things.
Hold on.
You said a lot of things.
Hold on. Go ahead, Jay. It was JP's turn.
Be quick. That was well said. What's your name? Lady Sabri? Did I say that right?
Yes.
Sabri. That was well said. I've been waiting and I wanted
Did
to
you
comment
gift
on
her
this.
too soon? Necessity gifted her and said, hold on now, wait a minute, because you said some good things, but
She spoke a lot of facts, but she ended it on a bad plane. She was speaking facts until she said just trust him and believe in him and
I didn't say that. I
That's
said
when
let
she
him
messed
do
up.
his job. I said let him do his job.
No.
All right,
You don't have to put your trust in anyone.
Okay, all right.
You was
Sorry
right
about
up until
that.
you said
All
that.
right, sorry about that. It's JP turn. Sorry about that.
Yeah, I'll be quick. But I mean,
Take your time.
everything she said it's well said. We do need to give it some time, right? Because it's a process. As far as the dye situation, the dyes and whatnot, he's also going to certain companies, I believe, like Steak and Shake, for them to remove seed oils out of certain products that they cook in their fry with that beef tallow stuff.
Yep.
And I heard it's actually even better and it's healthier. I haven't personally tried it, but we're seeing some positive stuff, I think, out of HHS as of right now. I haven't seen anything negative. We gotta let it ride. And if he does do something that we disagree with, I will full out disagree with him. Anything this administration does, I'll hold them accountable. I voted for Trump. I support their administration, but I'll hold them accountable and I'll disagree with the decision they make. But I think, just to end it, the problem with healthcare right now is what I think the HHS is directly targeting, is what is actually in our food causing us to be unhealthy, causing these diseases, so on and so forth. And in order to make healthcare a better system overall for the future, this is stuff that needs to be tackled right now, or else it's just going to get worse. And that's my opinion.
Yeah, and another thing
I
with
agree.
golf and Candid and the golf what Miss Ladies are talking about. If you look around us right now and you go to every local metro area, all you see is Popeyes, Kentucky Fried Chicken, Chinese restaurants, and all these restaurants that have nothing that sells nothing but corn oil, vegetable oil, and canola oil. That oil that they put in the foods are cheap, it's easy to consume, and it has a lot of fatty acids. And a lot of our children today are consuming this stuff in record numbers. That's why they have the beer bellies they have today.
And they call it food deserts, by the way. If nobody heard the term food deserts, like a lot of people of color live in food deserts. That means that you have the corner store. You can't even get fresh fruits and vegetables. So yes.
Yeah, and that's other problems are causing that as well, like theft. Like companies that will put their organic store in the Black community, if it gets rife with theft, and they can't turn a profit because no one's buying healthy foods, then they go out of business, or they can't. So they have to put their stores in markets that's gonna first off, it's gonna buy their products, and second, that they're not gonna be robbed and all their inventory stolen. So
and I actually
that's
look
the
up
difference.
on purpose when I try to move, and I move a lot. When I try to move, I look up, where's the Whole Foods? Where's the Starbucks? Where is the Publix? I literally looked that up, and guess what? They all in the same area where we doing good. But when I look at the other areas where they got Dollar Tree, the Dollar Store,
Healthy, you'd be like, oh, this is disgusting. Oh,
exactly.
The watermelon, oh,
You're right.
this is disgusting. I need salt, I need oil, I need this, I need that. And your brain
Yep,
is
putting
used to
salt on your food before you even taste it. Like you get a plate in front of your face, and the fact that you even think that you have to put salt on it before you even taste it, that is manipulation. That
It's
is
a brain
so wrong.
manipulation.
You didn't even taste it yet.
Yes, it's a brain manipulation. And
Putting sugar in your drinks.
And go ahead, what you about to say?
All right.
Yeah, necessity. I don't think she
If I
disagrees with
can,
us.
if I can, just real quickly, because I am done with my laps. I mean, with my 10K steps. I think I did probably 13K. But you see that book right there, Atomic Habits? In that book, they talk about how these small 1% changes, I think what do they call it? Aggregated, I forgot.
That's nice, and that's great. But we were talking about
But
something that's more important than that.
No,
Okay,
no,
don't
it's not.
let
No, it's
the
not.
host
Not at
finish her
all.
thought.
I'm not sure. I think this is your first time here, but nevertheless, Atomic Habits, in that book, it talked about how this doctor, without forcing anything on anyone at a hospital, instead of the people having just soda and chips at the checkout, they move water to the checkout, right? They move like fruit and everything. So because it was, the people were exposed to healthier choices, which is where I'm going with this, the people then began to pick up the healthy habit of grabbing these items versus the unhealthy items, and they seen the increase of sales for the healthy items increase because they exposed them to it. So I do believe that the more exposure people, Americans, have to healthier choices, the better. I mean,
Are you American?
healthier
Because you just
options.
interrupted a great conversation. Are you American? You interrupted a great conversation.
Nevertheless, so the
Necessity, don't be
more
rude.
people have, the more healthier choices people have and exposure to them, I think they're going to make it. So the point that I'm making is, if you are really, if us as Americans really want to start making those healthier choices, because yeah, I think food is going to get more expensive. I really do think things will be more expensive. But in this book, Atomic Habits, it talks about making the 1% difference, like every single day. Try to do something different. And I think if we all just try to make healthier choices, which is what we're talking about with our health, I think that is also going to be impactful on a greater level once we continuously do it. So my 10K steps are over with. I've done, I think, close to, I think 13,000, if I'm not mistaken. I was at, hold on, let me see. I was at 11,863 when I was showing you guys the lake. So I'm now back to my car. Again, this is Walk and Talk Politics in the mornings with the Canada American and everyone on the panel. So thank y'all for joining. I'm gonna give us 5 more minutes to make our final thoughts, and I'm going to call it a day. All right, so with that being said, I'm gonna go to Miss Lady Savory. Miss Lady Savory, your closing thought.
Legislation that worked. So when it came to gleaning the fat and
doing everything that he's doing right now, as far as immigration, as far as less government, as far as removing federal workers and all of this kind of stuff, it has been done before. I would love to land my plane by saying, I wish that we as a group, especially on the other side of the aisle, would stop complaining and let Trump do his job. Let the people that he has appointed do their job. And if you remove the complaints and go a little deeper in your research, you'll find that the end result will be something good for the whole of America and for us as U.S. Citizens as a whole. That's me. Thank you for letting me out.
All right, thank you for that. I appreciate you, Miss Lady Savory. You have a great day. What about you, Patriot? Your final thought for today?
I believe that what the conversation we had yesterday was absolutely correct. The Democratic Party has us as Black people programmed to believe everything they say is factual, that we should not go around and do our own research, our own investigation, and have a free-thinking mind. If we have our own free-thinking mind, like, for example, like me or Candid, Black conservatives, we are the enemy, we are the Antichrist, we are the coons, and we are a cancer to the Black community, all because we have an open, free mind. We have a serious crisis in this country. We have an obesity rate that's at record numbers. We just came out of a crisis of inflation. Thank God that's down. We have a lot of problems in this country that needs fixing. And we need to give this administration, like she said, a chance to let them do their job. I believe if we give them a chance, see what they have going on, Then we could give them a determination maybe 6 months, a year from now to say, hey, they did a bad job, or hey, this was a good job. But the man only been in office for 70 days, and he's been on the news the entire 70 days. So I'm gonna land my plane with this. Let's just sit back, relax. We're not victims. This is not 1968. Black people has blossomed better than they ever had before, and let's just let things play out.
All right. Thank you, Terrell. You have a great day. I appreciate you. Thank you for your candor and value add to the panel. Necessity, I dropped you because you were being rude. And I'm not sure if this is your first time here in the mornings, but this show is literally to have healthy debate and engage in healthy activity. I also said that we were closing soon. So this was the closing. I really don't, I do care about the conversation. That's why I let it go on, but I'm at 13,281 steps. I was supposed to close at 10,000 steps. So I'm way past the time I wanted to be on this room. So you're welcome to come back up and give your closing statements, but please don't be rude because I'm pretty much done with people being rude. It's just too much. So anyways, D Rich, what's your closing statement?
Okay, well, first of all, I just want to say I think this was a great session, one of the best ones I've ever heard. So thank you for adding me on first.
Yeah, man, I try to tell them these panels with the Canada American and the panelists are always A1. I always learn something new. But thank you for that, D Rich. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. And then I guess I'll just close by saying, I voted Democratic before years, but I voted for Trump. I voted for Trump because seeing how, life has been going for X amount of years with prior administrations, how it affected my family, and I believe to pay attention to the policies and also how the world reacts to what he's doing. And I think it's very important for us to teach within our homes, our children, our families, a different way of thinking outside the box, because like the brother said earlier, you get brainwashed and hooked to thinking a certain way, right? And so I think it's very important to eat healthy, to exercise, to do things completely different, put power within your home, within yourself, and also love your nation, love the country you're in. Like, I travel a lot. I know America has its history and it's bad, but and I think that if we all can wake up and get out of this sleeper cell, this mentality, I think that America can finally come back on top. Because there's a lot of countries that's trying to, bring America down. So I just think, conversation like this is very important. So hopefully, other people absorb information and knowledge as well as I did. And best believe I'm going to tune in. I followed you, American. So I'll definitely be tuning in when you're online. So
yeah, make sure you follow my main page, the Canada American. We're going to have, again, I forgot to mention in closing, we're going to have Sheldon Daniels, the gentleman that's running against Jasmine Crockett in Texas, on the morning Walk and Talk Politics show on April 22nd at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So make sure you follow my main account because the candidate screening, if you will be held over there. So thank you for joining. I appreciate it. And I agree with everything that you just said. So you have a great day and I'll see you soon.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right. Okay, let me get Sakin. Sakin, what's your closing statement for today?
Yeah, first of all, I'd like to say, Candid, I love your format. I've listened to several of your lives. They're very good conversation. Not a lot of back and forth name calling and all that. Even though you get some crazy people up here, you keep your composure. You have I think you have a master level of emotional intelligence. So I appreciate that about you. But
Marcus Aurelius, the Meditations.
Right. Yeah, because I my blood be boiling and I'd be like, wow, I can't see how she could do this. But this is the first time joining your panel. I appreciate the conversation, and I like the fact that when people come up with opposing views, we're not condescending with them, we're not belittling them. You know, we hear what they're saying, and we try to get them to understand or see their own statements and kind of break it down and understand what they're saying, so that they're just not parroting something they heard, you know, from the news or from other people, that they have actually, you know, used their own objective intelligence and actually studied the topic that they're talking about. So I love that, and the patience everybody on the panel has. Kudos to everybody who could come up here and have these conversations with people who with opposing views, and just have an objective conversation without name calling. And to the last girl that was up here, you know, we were starting that conversation, but I know we ran out of time. But she seems very passionate about the you know, the health of the country. So I just implore her to do some more research on Health and Human Services Department, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. Look at their mission, look at their goals, what they're trying to achieve. Also look at the sub departments under them, the NIH and the FDA, and what are their missions, and then ask yourself, are we achieving those goals in the current administration or in the previous administration? And then what are the goals, and do you agree with those goals that they're trying to achieve? So if you do that research on your own, I think you'll come out with a different perspective, and you will see that, you know, we're all Americans, and we're all trying to in or bring this country into a better position than it is today. So so thank you everybody on the panel, and thanks for having me.
All right, thank you again, and take care, and definitely want to hear more of you. So anytime you see me on, please don't be a stranger to the panel. Request up and give your candid opinion. Have a great day, Saki. All right, I want to go with JP, because I want Faith. I want you to close us out. So JP, what's going on? What's your closing thought for today?
Another good conversation. I try to catch your lives as much as I can. I work 2 jobs, so sometimes it's hard to get in here, but every time I'm in here, it's always just good conversation. This is what we need. So I can't wait to hear the 22nd, because I've been following Mr. Daniels on X for some time, and he seems like he's on the right path right now as far as what America needs. And he's running against Jasmine Crockett, so that's a plus in my eyes. As far as the health situation, like I said a little bit earlier when I spoke, what they're doing right now is very important, right? Because the current situation we're in, it's just diseases are rising. Colon cancer, for an example, is growing rapidly in young men at rates never seen before in the past. Right. All these different things are just rising and rising and rising compared to the past. And we needed somebody in there that's going to go in there, fight against big pharma, fight against these big food companies, and gets a lot of these things out of our foods, which are causing these diseases, so on and so forth. Because the more we could do that, the less people that will hopefully in the future have these diseases and whatnot. And the last thing I wanted to add,